carries a secret energy signature that's been blocking abundance, love, and opportunities from flowing into your life. And that tonight, you can unlock this hidden power using nothing more than salt water and 15 minutes of your time. There's an ancient practice that spiritual masters have kept hidden for centuries, one that can instantly clear negative energy attached to your identity and activate dormant gifts you didn't even know you possessed. But here's what's scary. Every day you delay this simple cleansing ritual, more energetic debris accumulates around your name, making it harder for the universe to recognize and deliver the blessings that are rightfully yours. This video is designed to be absorbed with complete attention and focus, so please eliminate all distractions, find a quiet space, and prepare to learn something that you need to implement tonight, not tomorrow or next week, because the cosmic timing for this practice is particularly powerful right now, and waiting could cost you months of potential transformation. Let me start by sharing something that might sound impossible, but will make perfect sense once you understand how energy really works. Your name is not just a label your parents gave you. It's a vibrational key that either opens or closes doors in your life. Every time someone speaks your name with love, appreciation, or positive intention, they're adding light and power to your energetic signature. But every time someone speaks your name with anger, disappointment, criticism, or fear, they're creating what we might call energetic static around your identity. Think about it like this. Imagine your name is a radio station broadcasting the frequency of who you truly are. When that signal is clear and strong, people tune in naturally, opportunities flow easily, and life feels aligned and magical. But when interference builds up on your frequency, people can't quite connect with your authentic energy. Opportunities seem to pass you by, and you might feel invisible or misunderstood despite your best efforts. This energetic interference isn't your fault, and it's not permanent. From the moment you were born, you've been absorbing energy from every interaction, every emotion directed toward you, every judgment or expectation placed upon your identity, your parents' hopes and fears, your teachers' assessments, your friends' opinions, even strangers' casual remarks, have all contributed to the energetic field around your name. But here's where this gets really fascinating. And if this is starting to make sense to you, hit that like button so I know you're following along. Science has proven that water has memory, that it can store and transmit information at the molecular level. Salt, particularly sea salt, has been used across every culture throughout history for purification and protection because of its unique ability to neutralize negative energy and amplify positive intentions. When you combine your written name with salt water under the right conditions, you're performing what amounts to spiritual surgery on your energy field, removing blocks and activating potentials that have been dormant since childhood. It's like defragmenting a computer hard drive, organizing scattered files so the system can run smoothly and efficiently again. Let me tell you about Maria from San Diego, California, whose story perfectly illustrates how powerful this simple practice can be. Maria had been struggling in her career for years, watching less qualified colleagues get promoted while she remained stuck in the same position despite her hard work and dedication. She felt invisible at work, like her contributions weren't valued or even noticed by management. Maria's frustration reached a breaking point when she was passed over for a promotion she had been promised for months. That night, feeling defeated and considering looking for another job, Maria stumbled across information about name cleansing with salt water. Skeptical but desperate, she decided to try the technique exactly as I'm going to teach you tonight. The next morning, Maria noticed something different in how she carried herself. She felt more confident, more centered, more deserving of recognition and respect. That same day, her manager approached her about leading a new project that would give her visibility with senior leadership. Within 3 months, Maria had not only received her long-awaited promotion, but had been invited to join the company's strategic planning committee. But here's the part that really caught Maria's attention. Several colleagues mentioned that something about her energy seemed different, more magnetic and authoritative. Maria realized that her professional struggles hadn't been about her skills or qualifications. They had been about the energetic interference that made her authentic power less visible to others. Now, you might be wondering how something as simple as salt water could create such dramatic changes. And I understand that skepticism because our logical minds want complicated solutions to complicated problems. But the most powerful forces in nature are often the simplest. A tiny seed contains the blueprint for a mighty oak tree. A single ray of sunlight can illuminate an entire room. Your name, when cleansed and activated properly, becomes a beacon that attracts exactly what you need for your highest good. Stay with me because what I'm about to reveal next will explain the scientific basis for why this works. And understanding the mechanism will amplify your results exponentially. Everything in the universe vibrates at specific frequencies, and your name carries a unique vibrational signature that was chosen by your soul before you incarnated in this lifetime. This isn't mystical speculation, it's quantum physics. Every thought, word, and emotion creates ripples in the energy field. And over time, these ripples either harmonize with your authentic frequency or create dissonance that blocks your natural magnetism. When negative energy accumulates around your name, it's like having static on your personal radio station. People can sense something about you, but they can't quite tune in clearly. Opportunities might be broadcast in your direction, but the signal gets scrambled before it reaches you. Love, abundance, and success are all trying to find you, but the interference makes it difficult for them to lock onto your frequency. The saltwater cleansing works by neutralizing this interference and returning your name to its original, pure frequency. Sea salt is one of the most electrically conductive substances on Earth, and when dissolved in water, it creates what scientists call an ionic solution that can literally neutralize negative electrical charges. Since thoughts and emotions are fundamentally electrical impulses, salt water can cleanse the energetic residue that has accumulated around your identity. But wait until you hear what happened to James from Nashville, Tennessee, because his experience will show you just how quickly this transformation can occur when you approach the practice with complete faith and openness. James was a talented musician who had been trying to make it in the country music scene for over a decade. He had the voice, the songwriting skills, and the stage presence. But somehow, he never seemed to catch the right breaks. Record labels would show initial interest but then choose someone else. Venues would book him once but not invite him back. James was starting to wonder if he was destined to remain a weekend warrior, playing small clubs while working a day job to pay the bills. The night James performed the saltwater name cleansing, he had what he described as the most vivid dream of his life. He saw himself performing on the Grand Ole Opry stage. But more importantly, he felt the energy of complete confidence and belonging, as if he finally understood his place in the music world. James woke up with a clarity he had never experienced before, about his unique style and message as an artist. 3 days later, James was performing at a small venue, when a music producer happened to be in the audience. But here's the interesting part. This producer had actually heard James perform months earlier at the same venue, and hadn't been impressed. This time, something about James's energy and stage presence caught his attention immediately. The producer approached James after the show and eventually signed him to a development deal that launched his professional music career. James later learned that this producer made it a habit to scout talent at smaller venues throughout Nashville, and he had actually been to several of James's previous performances over the years. The difference wasn't in James's musical ability, which had always been strong, but in his energetic presence and the confidence that radiated from him after clearing the interference from his name. Tell me in the comments if you've ever had the experience of feeling like your talents or contributions go unnoticed despite your best efforts, because what I'm about to explain will help you understand why this happens and how to change it permanently. The reason talented, deserving people sometimes struggle to receive recognition isn't because they lack ability or because the universe is unfair. It's because energetic interference around their identity creates a kind of invisibility cloak that makes their true gifts harder for others to perceive and appreciate. This interference usually builds up during childhood, when we're most psychically open and absorb energy from every interaction. Think about your earliest memories of hearing your name spoken. Maybe it was called with love during bedtime stories, or perhaps it was shouted in anger when you misbehaved. Maybe it was whispered with worry when you were sick, or spoken with pride when you achieved something special. Every single instance of your name being used created an energetic deposit in what we might call your name bank. And over the years, this account has accumulated both positive and negative balances. The beautiful thing about the saltwater cleansing is that it doesn't just remove negative energy. It also amplifies and activates the positive energy that's been stored in your name. All those moments when people spoke your name with love, pride, hope, and appreciation become more powerful and accessible after the cleansing. It's like polishing a diamond that's been covered with dust. Suddenly, all the brilliant facets become visible and radiant again. But here's something most people don't realize about this practice, and this is where the real transformation happens. When you cleanse your name with salt water, you're not just affecting your own energy field, you're actually changing how others perceive and respond to you. This happens because energy is contagious and influential. People unconsciously pick up on your vibrational frequency and adjust their behavior accordingly. Let me share the story of Patricia from Denver, Colorado, whose experience illustrates this phenomenon perfectly. Patricia had been struggling in her relationships for years, attracting partners who were emotionally unavailable or who didn't seem to value her deeply. Despite being a loving, intelligent, and attractive woman, Patricia kept finding herself in situations where she felt unseen and unappreciated in romantic relationships. Patricia's pattern was so consistent that she had started to believe that maybe she was just destined to be alone, or that healthy, loving relationships weren't in the cards for her. She had tried therapy, dating coaches, and various self-improvement programs, but nothing seemed to shift the underlying dynamic of feeling invisible to the kind of partners she truly desired. When Patricia learned about name cleansing, she was initially skeptical because it seemed too simple to address such a complex relationship pattern. But she was also at a point where she was willing to try anything. So she performed the saltwater ritual with an open heart and complete commitment to releasing whatever energy was blocking her from receiving love. The changes began subtly but quickly became obvious to everyone around her. Patricia's friends started commenting that she seemed more radiant and confident. Strangers began approaching her more frequently, offering compliments or starting conversations. But the most dramatic shift happened in her romantic life, when she met David at a coffee shop, 3 weeks after her name cleansing ritual. David later told Patricia that something about her energy had caught his attention from across the room. a kind of magnetic presence that he found irresistible. What struck Patricia was that she had been to this same coffee shop dozens of times over the years and had never received that kind of positive attention from anyone. The difference wasn't in her appearance or behavior. It was in the clear, unobstructed energy that was now radiating from her newly cleansed name. If you're starting to feel excited about the possibilities this practice might create in your own life, go ahead and subscribe to this channel because what I'm sharing here is just the beginning, and there are many more advanced techniques I'll be revealing in future videos. Now let me address something important that often comes up when people first learn about this practice. Some people worry that cleansing their name might somehow change their personality or make them into someone they're not. This concern is understandable but completely misguided, because the saltwater cleansing doesn't change who you are. It reveals who you've always been, underneath the accumulated interference. Think of it like cleaning windows that have been dirty for years. The cleaning doesn't change the view outside. It just allows you to see clearly what was always there. Your authentic self, your natural gifts, your inherent magnetism and worthiness have always existed within you. They've just been obscured by energetic debris that doesn't belong to you. The salt water ritual works by stripping away everything that isn't authentically you. All the projections, expectations, judgments, and limitations that others have placed on your identity over the years. What remains is your pure essence, your soul's original blueprint, your divine nature expressed through your unique personality and gifts. This is why people often report that they feel more like themselves after the cleansing. Not different or strange, but more authentic and aligned than they've felt in years. It's like taking off a heavy backpack you didn't realize you were carrying. Suddenly you can move freely and express yourself without the weight of other people's energy dragging you down. But wait until you hear what I'm about to tell you next about the specific timing for performing this ritual. Because understanding these cosmic cycles will help you maximize your results and create lasting transformation rather than temporary improvement. The effectiveness of name cleansing with salt water is significantly amplified during certain lunar phases and planetary alignments. While the practice can be performed at any time with beneficial results, there are specific windows when the veil between the physical and spiritual dimensions is thinner, making energetic work more powerful and permanent. Tonight specifically represents one of these optimal windows, a time when the universe is particularly responsive to our conscious intentions and spiritual practices. This is why ancient civilizations tracked celestial movements so carefully and timed their most important rituals accordingly. They understood that we are not separate from the cosmos, but intimately connected to its rhythms and cycles. Think of it like surfing. You can paddle around in the ocean at any time, but catching the perfect wave requires understanding the tides, the wind patterns, and the underwater topography. Tonight's cosmic conditions are like a perfect wave for energetic transformation, and riding this wave will carry you much further than trying to swim against the current at less optimal times. Let me tell you about Robert from Portland, Oregon, who learned this lesson about cosmic timing in a way that completely changed his understanding of how manifestation really works. Robert had been trying various manifestation techniques for months, with modest results, and he was starting to lose faith in the whole concept of conscious creation. When Robert discovered the saltwater name cleansing technique, he decided to wait for what he thought would be a more convenient time to perform the ritual. Weeks passed, then months, and Robert kept finding excuses to postpone the practice. Finally, during a manifestation window similar to tonight's, Robert decided to stop procrastinating and perform the cleansing ritual. The results were so immediate and dramatic that Robert realized his previous lackluster manifestation results had been partly due to poor timing. Within days of his name cleansing, Robert received 3 separate opportunities that aligned perfectly with his goals. A job offer with a significant salary increase, an invitation to join a business partnership with a successful entrepreneur, and a reconnection with an old friend who had become a successful investor. Robert later said that the timing element taught him something crucial about working with universal energy rather than against it. He realized that manifestation isn't about forcing outcomes through willpower alone. It's about aligning with natural cycles and cosmic rhythms that amplify our intentions and carry them into physical reality with minimal resistance. Comment below and let me know if you've ever noticed how some periods in your life seem to flow effortlessly, while others feel like an uphill battle, because understanding these energy cycles will help you maximize the effectiveness of tonight's ritual and all your future manifestation work. The cosmic window we're working with tonight will remain open for approximately 48 hours, giving you some flexibility in timing while still capturing the enhanced energetic conditions. However, the sooner you perform the ritual, the more powerfully you'll be able to ride this wave of transformational energy. Now, let me walk you through the exact materials you'll need for tonight's practice, and I want you to pay attention to why each element is important, because understanding the spiritual science behind the ritual will strengthen your faith in the process and amplify your results. You'll need 3 specific items, and the quality and intention behind each item will directly impact the depth and permanence of your transformation. First, you need pure sea salt, preferably unrefined and without additives. Sea salt carries the memory of the ocean's vast abundance and the moon's purifying influence, making it the perfect medium for energetic cleansing. If sea salt isn't available, Himalayan pink salt is an acceptable substitute because it contains ancient mineral wisdom and high vibrational frequency. Second, you need pure spring water or filtered water that hasn't been treated with chemicals. Water is the most programmable substance on Earth, capable of storing and transmitting information at the molecular level. The purer your water, the more effectively it can hold your cleansing intention and carry away the energetic interference attached to your name. Third, you need natural paper and a pen with blue or black ink. The paper should be unbleached if possible, representing purity and new beginnings. You'll be writing your full birth name as it appears on your birth certificate, because that version carries your original soul signature most clearly. Each of these materials contributes a specific frequency to the overall ritual. Sea salt provides purification and protection. Spring water offers fluidity and memory. Natural paper represents growth and transformation. Your written name becomes the focal point where all these energies converge to create profound change in your energy field. But here's something fascinating that most people don't realize about this practice, and this insight will help you approach the ritual with the depth and reverence it deserves. When you place your written name in salt water, you're not just performing a symbolic act. You're engaging with fundamental forces of nature that have been used for healing and transformation for thousands of years. The ancient Egyptians used salt water for mummification and purification ceremonies. Celtic druids cleansed sacred objects in salt water before important rituals. Native American tribes use salt water for naming ceremonies and spiritual cleansings. Hindu traditions include saltwater purification in many sacred practices. This isn't a New Age invention. It's a rediscovery of universal principles that transcend any particular religious or cultural system. Stay with me because what I'm about to reveal next is the most important part of this entire practice, the specific technique that separates those who experience profound transformation from those who see only modest results. The power of the saltwater name cleansing isn't just in the physical materials or the cosmic timing. It's in the consciousness you bring to the practice. Your intention, your faith, your willingness to release old patterns and embrace new possibilities are what activate the transformational potential of this ancient ritual. This means that how you approach the practice mentally and emotionally is just as important as following the physical steps correctly. If you perform the ritual while doubting its effectiveness or holding back your full commitment, you'll create internal resistance that limits your results. But if you approach it with open-hearted faith and complete willingness to transform, you'll activate forces that can literally reshape your reality overnight. Think of it like planting a seed in fertile soil. The seed contains all the potential for a magnificent tree. The soil provides the necessary nutrients, but without the right conditions of moisture, temperature, and light, the seed remains dormant. Your consciousness provides the optimal conditions for your name cleansing to bloom into lasting transformation. In Part 2, I'm going to walk you through the exact step-by-step process for performing tonight's ritual, share more incredible success stories, and teach you the advanced techniques for maintaining and amplifying your results for years to come. But before we continue, I need you to make a commitment right now that you're going to approach this practice with complete sincerity and faith, because half-hearted efforts produce half-hearted results. Your willingness to trust the process, even if it challenges your logical mind, is what opens the doorway for miracles to occur. Your name has been waiting years, maybe decades, for this moment of liberation and activation. Tonight, you have the opportunity to free your authentic self from the accumulated interference of the past and step into the clear, powerful energy that is your birthright. Welcome back to this transformative journey of unlocking your hidden energy through the ancient practice of saltwater name cleansing. If you're here for Part 2, it means you're serious about releasing the energetic blocks that have been limiting your life and stepping into the full power of your authentic self. What I'm about to share with you in this part is the complete ritual process, the exact steps that thousands of people have used to create miraculous shifts in their relationships, careers, health, and overall life experience. But first, let me address something that might be happening in your energy field right now. As we've been discussing this practice, some of you might be feeling unusual sensations, perhaps tingling in your hands, a lightness in your chest, or even some emotional stirring that you can't quite explain. This is completely normal and actually indicates that your energy body is already beginning to respond to the frequencies we're working with tonight. Your soul recognizes this ancient wisdom because at some level, you've always known that your name holds power far beyond what your logical mind could comprehend. Every spiritual tradition throughout history has understood the sacred nature of names and their connection to our deepest identity and purpose. Tonight, you're reclaiming that sacred understanding and using it to transform your life from the inside out. Now, let me walk you through the complete ritual process, step by step, and I want you to pay attention to every detail, because precision in spiritual practice is what separates those who experience life-changing results from those who see only modest improvements. This isn't just about following instructions. It's about performing a sacred ceremony that honors the divine intelligence within you and calls forth your highest potential. The ritual should be performed between sunset and midnight in your local time zone, during the hours when the veil between the physical and spiritual dimensions is naturally thinner. Choose a quiet space in your home where you won't be interrupted, preferably somewhere near a window where you can connect with the night sky and the cosmic energies that are supporting your transformation tonight. Begin by creating sacred space around yourself. Turn off all electronic devices except for one soft light source. If you have a white candle available, light it not for any religious purpose, but because flame represents transformation and the light of consciousness piercing through darkness. Take 3 deep breaths, inhaling peace and clarity, exhaling any stress, doubt, or resistance from your day. Fill a clear glass bowl with your spring water, using enough water to comfortably submerge a folded piece of paper. As you pour the water, express silent gratitude for its willingness to serve your highest good and to carry away whatever energy no longer serves your authentic self. Water is conscious and responsive to our thoughts and intentions, so treating it with reverence amplifies the ritual's effectiveness. Add 1 tablespoon of sea salt to the water and stir it clockwise 3 times with a wooden spoon or clean finger. The clockwise motion aligns with the natural direction of energy circulation and the Earth's rotation, creating harmony between your personal transformation and the greater cosmic rhythms. As you stir, visualize the salt dissolving and creating a purifying solution that will cleanse decades of accumulated energetic debris from your name. If this process is feeling sacred and meaningful to you, let me know in the comments by writing, "I am ready for my energy activation," because your willingness to engage deeply with this practice will determine how profound your transformation becomes. Now comes the most crucial part of the entire ritual, the moment where you connect directly with your soul's original blueprint and begin the process of energetic liberation. Take your pen and natural paper, and before you write anything, hold both items in your hands and speak these words aloud. I call upon the highest good of all beings as I cleanse and activate my name for the purpose of expressing my authentic self and serving love in this world. Write your full birth name slowly and deliberately, feeling the sacred power of each letter as it flows from your pen onto the paper. This is not merely a mechanical act of writing. It's a conscious collaboration between your personality and your soul, between your human self and your divine essence. As you form each letter, remember that this name was chosen by your higher self before you incarnated, specifically designed to carry the vibration of your unique gifts and purpose. Don't rush this process or write carelessly. Each stroke of the pen is an act of reclaiming your power, of asserting your divine right to express your authentic nature without interference or limitation. Feel the weight of the pen in your hand. Notice the texture of the paper beneath your fingers, and allow yourself to experience the profound significance of what you're doing. Once your name is complete, hold the paper to your heart and speak directly to your higher self with these words. I release all energy that is not mine to carry. I release all limitations that do not serve my highest good. I call back all the power I have given away and reclaim my divine birthright to live as my truest self. As you speak these words, you might feel emotion rising, perhaps sadness for the years you've carried others' projections, or excitement for the freedom that's about to unfold. Allow whatever feelings arise to move through you naturally, because emotional release is often part of the cleansing process. Now place the paper with your name face down into the salt water, watching as the water begins to penetrate the fibers, symbolically dissolving the old energetic patterns that have kept your authentic self hidden or diminished. The paper will remain in the salt water for exactly 21 minutes, a period that corresponds to sacred numerology and allows sufficient time for the cleansing process to reach the deepest levels of your energy field. During these 21 minutes, you're going to perform what I call liberation breathing, a specific technique that accelerates the release of old energy and activates dormant potentials within your consciousness. Sit comfortably with your spine straight and your hands resting on your knees, palms facing upward in a receptive position that allows you to receive the new energy that's about to become available. Breathe in slowly for a count of 4, imagining golden light entering through the crown of your head and filling your entire body with radiant energy. Hold your breath for a count of 4, feeling this divine light circulating through every cell, dissolving any resistance to your authentic expression. Exhale for a count of 4, releasing all fear, shame, and limitation that has accumulated around your identity over the years. Continue this breathing pattern for the full 21 minutes while your name soaks in the purifying salt water. If your mind wanders to daily concerns or doubts about the process, gently redirect your attention to the breath and the visualization. This focused attention is what activates the transformational power of the ritual and ensures that the cleansing reaches the deepest levels of your subconscious programming. Let me tell you what happened to Michelle from Austin, Texas, during her 21-minute breathing session, because her experience illustrates the kind of profound insights and healings that can occur during this sacred time. Michelle had been struggling with chronic self-doubt and people-pleasing behaviors that kept her trapped in situations where she gave away her power and ignored her own needs. During her liberation breathing, Michelle experienced what she described as a series of vivid memories from childhood, moments when she had learned to hide her authentic self in order to gain approval or avoid conflict. She saw how these early adaptations had created layers of false identity that covered her natural confidence and intuitive wisdom like sediment covering a clear stream. But the most powerful part of Michelle's experience came when she felt the presence of her authentic self, the person she had been before learning to wear masks and play roles for others' comfort. This authentic Michelle was radiant, confident, and unapologetically herself. And in that moment of recognition, Michelle felt decades of pretense and insecurity dissolving like salt in warm water. When Michelle opened her eyes after the 21 minutes, she felt fundamentally different. Not like a new person, but like herself, for the first time in years. The changes in her life began immediately. She started speaking up for herself at work, ended a friendship that had been draining her energy, and began pursuing creative projects she had abandoned years earlier because others had convinced her they weren't practical. Stay with me because what I'm about to share next is the crucial step that completes the energetic circuit and ensures that your transformation becomes permanent rather than temporary. After 21 minutes, remove the soggy paper from the salt water. The paper will be soft and partially dissolved, and the ink may have run or faded, which is perfect because this represents the dissolution of old energetic patterns and the release of accumulated interference. Hold the wet paper in your hands and speak these words with conviction. As this paper dissolves, so do all blocks to my authentic expression. As this water has cleansed my name, so am I cleansed of all that does not serve my highest good. Now comes a step that many people overlook, but which is absolutely essential for completing the energetic transformation. You must take the salt water, along with any dissolved pieces of paper, outside, and pour it onto the earth, preferably near a tree or flowering plant. As you pour, express heartfelt gratitude to the earth for receiving and composting the old energy, transforming it into nourishment for new growth and life. This step is crucial because it completes what energetic practitioners call the closed loop of transformation. The old energy doesn't just disappear. It returns to the natural cycle where it can be purified and recycled into something beneficial. Think of the earth as a cosmic recycling center that transforms all energy back to its pure essence, ready to be used again for creation and beauty. Comment below and let me know if you can feel the significance of this earth connection, because understanding your relationship with the natural world will enhance not just this practice, but all your future manifestation work. Return to your sacred space and wash your hands thoroughly with soap and cool water, symbolically cleansing yourself of the entire process and preparing to step into your newly activated energetic identity. This washing represents a baptism of sorts, a cleansing away of the old self and an emergence into your authentic power. Look in a mirror and speak your name aloud 3 times with love, respect, and appreciation. This might feel awkward at first, especially if you've been carrying shame or dissatisfaction with your identity. But this step is what seals the new energetic programming and begins attracting experiences that match your cleansed frequency. Many people report feeling different immediately after completing the ritual, describing sensations of lightness, clarity, increased energy, or a profound sense of coming home to themselves. This is your energy field reorganizing itself around your authentic frequency, and it's important to honor and nurture this shift with conscious choices over the coming days and weeks. But here's where most people either multiply their results or inadvertently sabotage them, and understanding this principle will determine whether your transformation compounds over time or gradually fades back to old patterns. The saltwater cleansing creates what we might call a clean slate in your energy field, removing old programming and interference while activating your natural magnetism and gifts. However, this clean slate needs to be consciously maintained and built upon, or old patterns can gradually reassert themselves through unconscious habits and environmental influences. For the next 7 days following your ritual, you're in what I call the integration window, a period when your energy field is particularly malleable and responsive to new programming. During this week, every thought you think about yourself, every word you speak about your identity, and every action you take carries more creative power than usual. This means it's crucial to guard your thoughts and words during this integration period, catching and redirecting any self-criticism, doubt, or negative self-talk that might try to rebuild the old energetic patterns you just cleared. Instead, consciously affirm your worth, your capabilities, and your right to express your authentic self fully and freely. Let me share the story of Kevin from Seattle, Washington, who learned this lesson about integration the hard way, but ultimately used the experience to create an even more powerful transformation. Kevin performed the saltwater ritual perfectly and felt an immediate shift in his confidence and energy. For the first 3 days, he was more assertive at work, more social with friends, and more optimistic about his future than he had been in years. But on day 4, Kevin had a challenging interaction with a family member who criticized his recent changes and suggested he was getting too big for his britches. Instead of maintaining his new energy, Kevin unconsciously reverted to old patterns of self-doubt and people-pleasing, allowing this one conversation to undermine the progress he had made. Kevin noticed the shift immediately and realized he had a choice. He could let this setback define his experience, or he could use it as an opportunity to strengthen his commitment to his authentic self. Kevin chose the latter, spending extra time in meditation and affirmation over the following days, consciously rebuilding and fortifying his new energetic foundation. The experience taught Kevin something valuable about the ongoing nature of personal transformation. Clearing old energy is just the beginning. Maintaining and building upon that clearing requires conscious choice and commitment over time. But Kevin also discovered that each time he chose his authentic self over old patterns, the choice became easier and more natural. If you're feeling excited about the transformation that's about to unfold in your life, and you're committed to maintaining your new energy consciously, go ahead and subscribe to this channel, because I'll be sharing advanced techniques for energy maintenance and amplification in future videos. Now let me teach you the 3 most powerful practices for maintaining and amplifying your cleansed energy during the crucial integration week and beyond. These practices will ensure that your transformation compounds over time, rather than fading, creating lasting change that touches every area of your life. The first practice is what I call name blessing, and it's deceptively simple but profoundly effective. Every morning for the next 30 days, as soon as you wake up, speak your name aloud 3 times with love and appreciation. You might say something like, "Good morning, your name. I love and appreciate you. Thank you for being exactly who you are." This practice might feel strange at first, especially if you're not used to expressing love for yourself openly. But it's one of the most powerful ways to reinforce your new energetic programming and prevent old patterns of self-criticism from reasserting themselves. Remember, every time you speak your name with love, you're adding light and power to your energetic signature. The second practice involves conscious interaction with your environment and other people. For the next week, pay attention to how others respond to you and notice any changes in their behavior or energy. Many people report that friends, family members, and even strangers begin treating them differently after the name cleansing, often with more respect, attention, or positive regard. When you notice these shifts, acknowledge them internally as confirmation that your energy has indeed changed and that the ritual was effective. This acknowledgement strengthens your new energetic pattern and helps prevent your logical mind from dismissing the changes as coincidence or imagination. The third practice is what I call authenticity anchoring, and it involves making at least one choice each day that honors your authentic self, rather than conforming to others' expectations or your own old patterns. This might mean speaking up in a meeting, wearing something that expresses your personality, pursuing a creative interest, or simply saying no to something that doesn't align with your values. Each authentic choice you make sends a signal to the universe that you're serious about living as your true self, and the universe responds by sending opportunities and connections that support this new way of being. Think of it as building spiritual muscle. Each authentic choice makes the next one easier and more natural. But wait until you hear what I'm about to share next about the long-term possibilities this practice opens up, because understanding the bigger picture will help you maximize not just your immediate results, but the trajectory of your entire life. The saltwater name cleansing is not just a one-time healing. It's an initiation into a more conscious way of living, where you actively participate in creating your reality, rather than passively accepting whatever circumstances arise. Once you experience the power of clearing energetic interference and activating your authentic frequency, you gain access to a whole toolkit of consciousness-based practices for ongoing transformation and manifestation. Many people find that after their first name cleansing experience, they become more sensitive to energy in general, better able to feel when their frequency is clear versus when it's clouded by stress, negativity, or other people's projections. This increased sensitivity becomes a valuable guidance system for maintaining optimal energy and making choices that support your continued growth and evolution. Let me tell you about Sandra from Phoenix, Arizona, whose experience illustrates the long-term potential of this practice when approached with dedication and consciousness. Sandra performed her first saltwater name cleansing during a particularly difficult period in her life when she felt stuck in every area, Her career had plateaued, her relationships were unfulfilling, and she felt disconnected from any sense of purpose or passion. The immediate results of Sandra's ritual were encouraging but modest. She felt more confident, slept better, and noticed that people seemed more responsive to her in casual interactions. But Sandra understood that this was just the beginning, and she committed to maintaining her cleansed energy through the practices I just shared with you. Over the following months, Sandra's life began transforming in ways that seemed almost magical, but which she understood were the natural result of living from her authentic frequency. She was offered a position at a non-profit organization that aligned perfectly with her values. She met and began dating a man who appreciated her depth and spirituality, and she discovered a passion for writing that had been dormant since college. But perhaps most importantly, Sandra developed what she calls energetic discernment, the ability to sense when situations, people, or opportunities were aligned with her authentic self, versus when they would pull her back into old patterns of compromise and inauthenticity. This discernment became her compass for navigating life choices and consistently choosing experiences that supported her continued growth and happiness. 2 years after her first name cleansing, Sandra had created a life that felt like a perfect expression of who she truly was, surrounded by people who valued her authentic self and engaged in work that felt meaningful and fulfilling. But Sandra says the most valuable gift of the practice was learning to trust her own inner guidance and to prioritize her authentic expression over others' comfort or approval. Tell me in the comments what area of your life you're most excited to see transform after tonight's ritual, because sharing your intentions helps activate the manifestation process and creates accountability for your continued growth. Now, let me address some important questions that often arise about this practice, because understanding these nuances will help you navigate any challenges that might come up and maximize your long-term success with energy work in general. First, many people ask whether they can perform this ritual for family members, especially children, who might benefit from energetic cleansing but are too young to understand or perform the practice themselves. The answer is nuanced. While you cannot directly cleanse another person's energy without their conscious participation, you can perform the ritual with the intention of clearing any negative energy you may have inadvertently contributed to their energetic field through your own stress, criticism, or projection. For example, if you're a parent who recognizes that your own anxiety or criticism may have affected your child's self-image, you can perform the name cleansing ritual while holding the intention of releasing any harmful energy you've directed toward your child and calling in protective, loving energy around their identity. This approach respects their energetic autonomy while taking responsibility for your own contribution to their energetic environment. Second, people often wonder about the timing of repeating this practice. While the ritual can be performed whenever you feel called to deeper cleansing and activation, most practitioners find that once every 3 to 6 months is sufficient for maintaining clear energy, with additional sessions during major life transitions or periods of particular stress or challenge. The key is to approach the practice intuitively rather than mechanically, performing the ritual when you genuinely feel the need for energetic renewal rather than following a rigid schedule. Your own inner guidance, combined with your increasing sensitivity to your energy field, will help you determine the optimal timing for additional cleansings. Third, some people are concerned about potential negative effects, or whether this practice might somehow backfire or create unwanted changes. This concern is understandable but unfounded, because the ritual works by removing what doesn't belong to you and activating what is authentically yours. It cannot make you into someone you're not or activate anything that isn't already part of your true nature. The only Negative effects that occasionally arise are temporary emotional releases as old patterns dissolve, or temporary discomfort as you adjust to living more authentically in relationships or situations that were built around your inauthentic self. These challenges are actually positive signs that real transformation is occurring, and that you're growing beyond limitations that were keeping you small. As we approach the end of this comprehensive training, I want you to take a moment to feel into the magnitude of what you're about to undertake tonight. This isn't just a simple ritual or spiritual experiment. It's a conscious choice to reclaim your authentic power and step into the fullness of who you were meant to be. Every spiritual tradition throughout history has understood that names carry sacred power and that purification practices can restore us to our original divine nature. Tonight you're participating in this ancient wisdom while also benefiting from modern understanding of energy, consciousness, and manifestation. You're bridging the timeless and the contemporary, the mystical and the practical, in service of your own awakening and empowerment. Your willingness to engage with this practice, even if it challenges your logical mind or requires you to step outside your comfort zone, demonstrates a courage and openness that many people never develop. You're choosing growth over stagnation, authenticity over conformity, conscious creation over passive victimhood. These choices, multiplied over time, create extraordinary lives filled with meaning, joy, and genuine fulfillment. But remember that transformation is not a destination, but an ongoing journey of becoming more fully yourself with each passing day. Tonight's ritual is a powerful beginning, but the real magic unfolds through your continued commitment to living authentically, making conscious choices, and trusting the wisdom of your own inner guidance. Before you begin tonight's ritual, I want you to make a sacred commitment, not just to performing the steps correctly, but to honoring the transformation that will follow. Commit to maintaining your cleansed energy through conscious thought and action. Commit to making choices that support your authentic self, even when they feel challenging or unfamiliar. Commit to trusting the process even when results unfold differently than you expected. In the comments below, write, "I commit to my authentic transformation," and add one specific change you're ready to make in your life to honor your newly cleansed energy. This public declaration creates accountability and activates the support of this entire community of conscious creators who are all walking the path of authentic empowerment. Your transformation begins the moment you decide it begins. Your authentic life is calling you forward, and tonight's saltwater ritual is your bridge from who you've been to who you're becoming. Trust the process, follow the steps with reverence and intention, and prepare to discover capabilities and magnetism you didn't know you possessed. Sweet dreams, and welcome to your authentic life. I'll see you in the next video where we'll explore advanced energy maintenance techniques and manifestation practices that build upon the foundation you're creating tonight. Until then, remember, you are worthy of living as your truest self. Your authentic expression is a gift to the world, and your time for full empowerment is now. May your name carry the pure frequency of your divine nature from this night forward, and may all who encounter you be blessed by the radiance of your authentic presence.